This song is called Forgive Myself. For this song in particular, because when I got the lyrics, I was like, this is kind of reminding me of like affirmations, because I don't know if you all have ever been to therapy, but I have many times. And one of the things that was helpful for me was doing like affirmations in the mirror. So I kind of took this song as showing the process of that, because the first time I ever did those affirmations, I was like, this is dumb, I feel silly. And so the first time I sing the first verse of I'm going to forgive myself, I wanted it to be sung very like timid, where it's like, I don't believe this at all. And then as the song builds, just like how as time went on and I kept saying these affirmations, I started to internalize it and then believe it and apply it to my real life. Every song that I've put out has had a message that I have believed in. But this one in particular, I think, is the most important. I think so many people hold so much self-hatred. And I mean, I'm a girl, I can hold a grudge, but I also hold a lot of grudges against myself. Having to let that go is really, really hard, because it's easy to just continually beat up on yourself for things. And so the message of this song is to forgive yourself. And however that may look for you, that process is completely different for each person. Each of the verses has a different example of things that I think are kind of universal to forgive yourself on. The first one being, I'm going to forgive myself for believing I deserve this hell. So many people are in negative situations or bad situations and believe that they are there because they deserve it. And that's not true. The second one of those, I'm going to forgive myself, is the one that I relate to the absolute most, which was, I'm going to forgive myself for pretending I'm somebody else, having to hide, I'm wounded inside, it's too much for me, so I'm setting it free. That was the only lyric that was actually like, okay, this is kind of hard to have to sing, because it's just so personal. I was in an environment where I had to pretend to be somebody that I was not. And I was having a conversation with my mom where I said, when I was at college, I would run into people that I knew from a previous time in my life, and that I didn't like running into them, not because they weren't great people, they were lovely, but I said that they know a version of me that, one, wasn't really real, and two, I don't like. And I'm gonna butcher up the way she said it, but she said something along the lines of, don't let other people make you feel bad for who you were. And I'm going to add on to that, don't let people make you feel bad for the person you had to become to survive something. And that's not your fault. And I realized that with this song. I realized that I was holding on to so much negative feelings about myself. I would like anyone listening to this song, if you have something that you are still holding on to, I want you to let that go. Beating yourself up over something, or being mad at yourself for the way you behaved in a situation, or for the people you chose to be around, or for the relationships that you were in, you're going to accomplish nothing. If this is a message that you feel like touches you and you're like, I know exactly what she's talking about, I have things that I need to forgive myself for, it's so important to give yourself grace. As difficult and as precious as life is, it's also just life. We live so much in our heads, and we internalize so much, and we hold on to so much pain and anger and hate. You gotta let things roll off your back and move forward. And you can't move forward when you have things holding you back. My favorite lyric is probably, if I am honest, I was your accomplice. I see that now, I'm reclaiming my crown. I like that a lot because it is important to take accountability. And as wonderful as it is to be like, I'm gonna forgive myself for all these things, and that's important to do, it's also important to hold yourself accountable for things. And I'm just gonna use the example of relationships, because that just makes the most sense to me for this line. When you're in a relationship that is like toxic or abusive or just not great, it is a two-way street. You have to be honest that you did allow this person, in some situations, you did allow this person to treat you bad. It's there's two sides to it, and you also have to take accountability, because if you're not taking accountability, you're just kind of blaming everyone else. And that might sound really harsh, and you may not like hearing that, I don't know. At least in my life, I've found that to be true. And I also like the way that it ends. I'm reclaiming my crown. It's that more empowering kind of stuff that I like to have throughout my songs. I really appreciate you listening. Sometimes it can be hard because you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position. I know a lot of people don't like to do that, but I am a person that likes to share that because I've had creators that I've heard them talk about things and realize that I wasn't alone, reminding us all that we're not so different and we all share a lot of similar trials and celebrations. And I think that's kind of the whole essence of art, is unifying us in the human experience.